Hello everyone, it's Sarah the Plumber, and over the next year or so, I'm going to show you how the pros fix many common household plumbing issues. Today I'm going to show you how we sweat copper pipe. These are the tools that you're going to need to sweat copper pipe. First, you're going to need a pair of cutters. I like using large cutters like this when we're just fabbing up pipe, but in case of a repair when you're in a tight space, it's nice to use these small cutters because you won't have the space to have the leverage to use these ones. Next, you're going to need flux. Make sure it's clean. You don't want any garbage in there, otherwise it's not going to work properly and your solder's not going to stick. Secondly, make sure your flux brush is clean because same thing, if there's anything on this, the solder's not going to stick properly. Next, you're going to need a deburring tool like this. This one works great because it rotates around the pipe with you, makes your job a lot easier. Also, sand cloth. You want one that's going to work well when it's wet, that way it won't fall apart on you if there's any moisture on the pipe. You're going to need a measuring tape to measure your pipe, permanent marker to mark the pipe, and lastly you're going to need a torch. I like using MAP gas because it burns hotter than propane, and that works better when you're soldering pipe. Also, MAP gas is always in a yellow canister like this. First, a bit of safety. You should always wear eye protection when working with copper pipe. Since most copper repairs are going to be made indoors, you should always select a clear lens. Solder melts at approximately 400 degrees Fahrenheit, so flux drops raining down in your eyes can cause blindness, let alone the damage that the solder would do. You want to make sure they fit snugly so that they're not going to slide down your nose when you look down. I prefer these 3M glasses. My gloves of choice are these type of mechanics gloves. Make sure they're going to fit snug and you'll protect your hands. You should also wear long sleeve t-shirts, but I've been doing this long enough that that's not necessary. Now, there are 3 things you have to remember when sweating copper pipe. The pipe has to be cleaned with sand cloth very well. Secondly, you should have shiny copper when you're done. It should look like this. I like to use a tri-stand when fabbing up pipe and fittings. It makes your job a lot easier because it holds on the pipe for you and it's not going to be moving around. You'll see some people doing it on a tailgate of their truck, and that's just not going to make your life very simple when doing this. First thing you want to do is get the pipe and sit on tri-stand like this. You'll see it has 2 sides. There's a chain on them, and you want to just take the chain and you're going to wrap it around like this. You'll feel a spot where it needs to sit in there. Once you get it in, you grab this around like this and just tighten it down. Keep going. You don't want it too snug, but you want it tight enough that it's not going to move. So once you test it out, it should be okay. First thing we're going to do today is we're going to cut a 24-inch piece. I already marked this for us, so what you're going to do is take your cutters like this, and you're going to place it and line it up on your marker. Once you get it to where you want it to be, you start tightening it down a little bit, and then this is the technique that you're going to want to get. You're going to want to go all the way around, making sure you're getting the entire pipe, and as you go, you're twisting this and tightening it as you go around. You're going to keep twisting and tightening until it pops off. Once you get to the point where you feel you're about to cut through, you're going to want to grab it because it'll fall off. And there you go. Next step is to deburr and clean the pipe. So take your 24-inch piece, and we're going to put it in the chain vise again, just like before. You're going to wrap it around the pipe, get it in there, and tighten it down. Okay. Now that the pipe is in the chain vise, you're going to take your deburring tool and go to the edge that you just cut. You're going to place the tool inside the pipe like this, and as you see, this one works great because it moves around the pipe by itself. This prevents velocity erosion, which could cause leaks in the future. Now I'm going to show you how to clean the pipe. First, I'm going to show you how people do it without a tri-stand, just to show you how difficult it is. You're going to take a piece of sand cloth and tear it. And most people that don't have a tri-stand do it like this. They wrap it around, and you have to go like this consistently until the pipe's clean enough. You can see how much of a forearm workout this is and how much time it's going to waste. So instead of doing it that way, we use our tri-stand. So once again, you're going to use your chain vise and clamp your pipe down. That way it's not going to move on you. You're going to take your piece of sand cloth and you're going to go around the top, bottom, and sides. All you're going to do, you don't have to put down much pressure. Just a little bit goes a long way. Make sure you're getting the edges as well. Once you got the top done to where you like it, make sure you're getting the sides. You flip it around and we're going to do the bottom. Okay. Next, we're going to clean our fittings. We're using 3/4-inch copper today. So take your sand cloth and wrap it around the edge. You want to make sure that you pay attention to the actual edge, like this, of your fitting. Some people ignore that, and that's a very important part. So keep cleaning it until you get it nice and shiny on the edge there. Next, we're gonna clean the inside of the fitting. You take a drill and a wire brush. You want a 3/4 inch wire brush for a 3/4 inch fitting. Now we're going to put the wire brush into the fitting to clean it. Just leave it in there long enough to make sure the fitting's clean. And there you go. Now we're ready to sweat copper pipe. What you want to do is take the fitting that you're going to use and you're going to take your flux. Once again, make sure your flux is nice and clean, and so is the brush. You take it and you're putting it in the inside of the fitting, and then you're going to take more flux and apply it to the end of the pipe that we're going to start fitting onto. Make sure you're going all the way around, and you want to make sure you have enough flux, because too little would be the problem, not too much. Once you get the first one done, you can take your fitting and put it on the end. Make sure you push it all the way in until it fits snug. If you don't have it in all the way, you could cause leaks in the future. We're going to keep going. Make sure you're fluxing both the pipe and the fitting. Once again, you always want to have enough flux, not too little. Once you've applied enough flux, same thing, insert the pipe into the fitting, make sure it's put in there snug. Now we're going to apply flux to the joint. This is going to make sure that the solder is going to stick properly. Once again, don't worry about too much excess, because once we're done doing this part, we're going to wipe it off anyways. Now we're going to take a clean cloth and we're going to wipe all the excess flux off the joint. Once we're done, now we're ready to solder. It's about to get real hot in here. We're going to take our MAF gas torch and our solder, and it's time to start sweating pipe. Now we're going to take our solder. You want to roll it a safe distance from your body and put a nice bend in the end. The reason why we do this is we're going to touch it to the opposite side that we're heating. This ensures that the pipe is the right temperature. Next, you want to take your MAF gas. The way that you turn it on is start turning the gas a little bit, click it. Once the flame starts going, then turn it up all as high as it goes, and then just back it down a little bit. The reason why I use MAF gas is it burns hotter than propane, which works great when you're sweating copper pipe. Hold the flame perpendicular to the pipe like this. You're going to heat the fitting, not the pipe. You'll start to see the flux bubbling up, and that's a good time to start trying to use your solder. Touch the solder to the pipe. If it's not melting, it's not ready yet. Once again, you're going to hold the solder to the back. Once it wraps around the pipe, you know you've got enough. Once you get a drip, you know that the joint's full. Like that. So we're moving on. If you need to cool the pipe off fast, what you want to do is take a rag, get it damp, and set it over the pipe. You never want to just drop it into a cold bucket of water. That'll cause your joints to be compromised. And that's how the pros sweat copper pipe. This is Sarah the Plumber, and until next time, leave questions or comments below. And if you ever have any requests for future videos, let me know as well.